children, how are you? I hope that everybody is staying home and staying safe. This is your Saubhagya madam who is teaching you science. As I said that science is a very interesting subject. Let me ask you a question. Do everybody are following the videos which we are posting to you? Is it yes? Then good. So all the videos are regarding the subject science. So do follow them regularly and do the homework so that you will not leave the subject behind. This is very important. Why? Because we are unable to connect with you at the school as we are suffering with coronavirus pandemic. Okay children. And before we start today's session, let us have a quick review of what we have learned up to now in our lesson 2. So we were talking about plant life. Yes children. So we know that plants are the primary producers, and every plant in this nature has a capability of reproducing itself. There are few agents which are helping the plants to grow and reproduce. So what are those agents children? A, water and animals. With the help of all these agents, the plants are reproducing, and you know that there are different methods of reproduction. What are those children? Yes, those are reproduction through seeds, which is a major important method. And next, reproduction through stem. Correct. Next, reproduction through leaves. Yes. And reproduction through roots. By using all these methods of reproduction, the plants are capable to reproduce themselves in order to increase their number. Okay children. So what is our today's topic? Today's topic is crops. What are crops? Crops are the plants that are grown in fields. Do you know children? From where do we get food? Yes, we are getting food from the plants and animals. Most of the food we get from the plants. We have already discussed about that. Then, why there is an importance of the crops? Why? Because, okay, crops. What are crops? Crops are nothing but which are grown in the fields. Why we need to grow the crops? Why? Because crops are the main sources of any kind of food that we eat. See, for example, we are eating vegetables, we are eating fruits, we are eating different kinds of pulses and cereals. Yes, children. And we are getting many medicines from the market, and also we are getting different varieties of oils which we are using for the procedure of cooking. And we also get clothing also. We also get milk products from the farm. So all these are required for one's food. So from where do we get all these things? Except the dairy products that we get from the animals, the remaining all varieties of food items we are getting from the plants. So there is an importance for the crops to be grown. There are number of people around us. See, if you take a small village, there are around lakhs of people who are living in the village. So everybody needs food to eat. So every human being or every living thing is basically depending on the plants. And especially the human beings, they depend upon the crops which are grown in the fields. Have you ever visited a village? Yes, children? Yes. Or if you travel in a train, when you look out of the window, you can see a huge, large fields that are growing different kinds of crops. Okay, children? So, in Telugu, you call them panta polalu. So, there are different types of crops in the different or the large acres of fields. Now we will see what are the three major crop production that is generally done in the villages. Okay children, see, the three major types of crops that we see are food crops, fiber crops and oil producing crops. The food crops are nothing but the crops which we are eating more. Eating more means in the sense like wheat, maize and rice, wheat and maize. These are the major cereals that we are eating. Yes children, without the rice or wheat we cannot survive, right? Because daily what we are eating? For the lunch or for the dinner, we are eating rice. So these are the major food crops. Okay, now let us see the second crop. Those are the fiber producing crops. What are the fibers that we are getting? The jute, cotton and hemp. See children, we are wearing clothes. Yes, we are wearing clothes. There are natural fibers that are used to prepare these clothes. Those natural fibers that we are getting from the fiber crops. And there are also man-made material like synthetic and silk which we are getting from different chemicals. Okay, silk we are getting directly from the silkworm. Okay children, but the major role is played by the fiber crops, that is jute, cotton and hemp. So if you want to wear clothes or if you want to get the cotton or the jute, we have to depend upon the crops. And what is the third variety of cropping? That is nothing but the oil production, oil producing plants. What are these oil producing plants? Peanuts, mustard and linseed and also sunflower oil. See children, in our kitchen we can find the different kinds of oils that we eat. So where do we get these oils? You know, we are getting oils from the seeds. Have you heard this? Yes. Most of the seeds which are used for the oil are peanuts or the groundnut oil, mustard oil, okay, and the linseed oil and also the sunflower oil. There are many other different varieties of oils that we are getting from different plants, especially from the seeds. Okay, now we will see why the crops are very important and what are the different varieties of crops we are growing in the field and in what way they are helping us and in what way the farmers are growing the crops in the fields. Now let us see them individually children. Okay. Now we will see what are the conditions required for any crop to grow properly in a field. See, before we learn it, let me ask you a question. What kind of crop we see mostly in the northern countries? Sorry, northern states. What will you see children? Wheat, correct. What kind of crop we see mostly in the southern parts, or what kind of food do we eat? We eat more of rice items. See why the northern people are eating more wheat varieties and why the southern people are eating more rice varieties. Why? Because the climatic condition of the northern states is different from the climatic conditions of the southern states. Depending upon the climatic conditions, the different varieties of crops are being grown in different climatic zones. Okay, we are having different climatic zones in our India. Not only in India, we also find different climatic zones all over the world. So depending upon the weather conditions, sunlight, water and the type of soil which is present on the earth, the different types of crops can be grown very easily. See, we'll take an example of apple. Where do we find this apple? The apple is mostly grown in the winter season and especially in the cold regions. So the northern regions are having good colder weather. So that is the only reason why the apples are grown in the northern states more. And the rice, if you take the rice will grow in hot seasons. So in the southern states, we can find more temperatures which are very hot. So the rice can easily grow in such climatic conditions. Okay children. So what are the important factors that are required for a crop to grow? We will see now. The crops need water, sunshine, air and good soil. What are required by any crop to grow very properly? The crops need water, sunshine, air and good soil. All these four play an important role in the growth of any crop in the field. See, sometimes we often see in the news channels, because of heavy rains, the crop in the fields are being damaged. Why? If more rain is there, what will happen? The more water will be drained up in the fields, which is damaging the crop. See, sometimes we are having storms or winds. Due to the winds, the plants will fall down. So the crop is being completely subsided. So what is the reason? What is the main reason for the damage of the crop? The damage is caused by the climatic conditions in that particular area at a particular time of the crop. Okay, so basically these four important needs like water, sunshine, air and good soil have to be there for the proper growth of any crop in any field in any area. Okay children, see, water, if it is more, the plants will die. If it is very less, also the plants will die. If the sunshine, if the sun is more, few crops will grow only in the hotter sun. If the sunshine is very less, then they cannot grow properly. And some crops like strawberries or apples, they need very lesser temperatures. If their plants are in high temperatures, the crop will be damaged. And the air, if the pollution is more in the air, what will happen? The pollution will cause damage to the plants. And the soil. Do you know children? Natural fertilizers and artificial fertilizers are added to the soil for the proper growth of the plants. Have you ever seen that? Okay. Now we will see what are the different types of plants or the crops which are grown in different climatic conditions. Okay children? Okay. See, we will see a few examples of crops that are grown in different weather conditions and in the soil. See, the wheat. The wheat can grow in cold weather. So it requires cold temperatures or lesser temperatures. That is the reason why it is grown more in the northern region. Okay, now the rice. The rice needs hot temperature or hot weather. So the southern parts, as I said, that are high temperature. So the rice is grown morely in the southern basin. Okay. The bajra. The bajra is requiring less water and sandy soil. It can grow good in sandy soil and with less water. And the rice. The rice needs lot of water. The paddy fields, if you observe, the paddy fields are completely filled with water. They put lot of water into the paddy fields, which also require clayey soil. Bankamatti in Telugu. Okay children, the clayey soils are required for the growth of rice varieties. And also the tea and coffee plantations. Have you seen the tea and coffee plantations anytime children? Have anybody visited any hill station? Do you know what is a hill station in Visakhapatnam? What is that? Aruku. Very good. That hill station completely contains the coffee plantation. If you know that, if you have any chance of visiting Aruku, try to check with this coffee plantation. Okay. And if you go to the northern state, we are having different hill stations all over India. See, the Assam contains different hill stations, the Darjeeling and the Nilagiri hills. They doesn't require plenty of water. Okay, if the water is stagnant, they cannot grow properly in such conditions. So, these are mostly seen in the hilly regions. The tea plantation and the coffee plantation is mostly seen in the hilly regions. We can see coffee plantation more in Visakhapatnam, that's like Aruku, and also the Darjeeling area, and we see more the tea plantation more in Assam and Nilgiri hills. These are the different crop varieties which are required, which are having a requirement of different weather conditions and also the different varieties of soils. Okay children. So as I said that the climatic conditions like air, water, soil and sunlight plays a very crucial role in the proper growth of the field. Okay, the crop has to require all these natural conditions. If the crop have to yield more. What is the yield? Yield means the product. See, in an acre of land, if a farmer is putting the paddy field, so how much of rice he have to get? So he have to get some quintals, more quintals of rice. then only it is very productive for the farmer. Otherwise, the crop is less, and he have to spend more amount on the crop, but the yield is very less. So all these climatic conditions play an important role. Okay, and now we will see what are the two important types of crops that are grown in India. I think in social studies you have heard them, Kharif and Rabi. Have you heard this, children? Kharif and Rabi. Now we will see what is a Kharif crop and what is a Rabi crop. Okay, children. Okay, children. As I said that the two varieties or two types of cropping is generally found in India. One is Kharif and the other one is Rabi. Now we will see about the Kharif. What is Kharif type of cropping? Kharif cropping is nothing but the crop which we generally see in the summer season. These crops require higher temperatures. Okay, if the higher the temperatures are there, the crop will grow more and the yield is also more. So what are the different varieties of Kharif crops that we see in the summer season? See, in the Kharif season, for example, if you see the cereals and the pulses, see, rice, millets, maize, jowar, bajra, cotton, jute, hemp and peanuts. These are the Kharif crops mostly seen. Okay, these are the mostly seen the Kharif crops. And we see the vegetables. What kind of vegetables we find in the Kharif season? See, the onions, pumpkin, brinjal, lady's finger, tomato and garlic. Now you will get it out. Madam, all through the year we are getting the brinjal and lady's finger and tomato. Yes. But the product is more when compared to the other season. Now all the hybrid varieties have been grown without not comparing with the climatic conditions. The new hybrid varieties have been developed. But in the olden days, these are the Kharif type of vegetables. They grow more in the summer season. Okay. Now we will see the fruit varieties which we find in the Kharif crops. The mangoes. As you know that mangoes especially we can eat them in the summer season. There are varieties of mangoes. Yes. There are around 21 varieties of mangoes that we find in the summer season. Okay, children. The mangoes, lychee fruit, plum, apricot, peach and melons. Melons means watermelon. Have you ever tasted it, children? The summer season it is very hot and we feel very thirsty. And the melons are containing high amount of water in the fruits. So if we eat those melons, we can quench the thirst. Okay, we can get rid of the thirst. So the varieties of crops which are generally grown in the Kharif season. All these varieties of cereals and pulses and the varieties of vegetables and the varieties of fruits. So all these together we get more product in the summer season. So what are the crops that are grown in summer season? Kharif. Kharif. Okay, spell it, children. K-H-A-R-I-F. Kharif. This type of crops we mostly see in the summer season. Now we will go to the other crop. So now we will discuss about Rabi. Okay. The Rabi crops. Rabi crops are generally seen in the winter season. I said Kharif is seen in the summer season and Rabi crops are seen in the mostly cool temperatures, that is in winter season. See, now let us see the examples. As I said, wheat, the northern states are having less temperature. So the wheat is growing more in the northern states. Okay, children. The wheat, barley, grams and mustard. Grams, green gram, Bengal gram. There are varieties of grams. Do you know, children? Okay. The wheat, barley, gram and mustard. All these are grown in the cool temperature. Now coming to the vegetables. The cauliflower, the carrot, radish, all varieties of peas and beans. Chikkulkayalu. Have you ever heard? Okay, fine. The cauliflower, carrot, radish, peas and beans. These are the vegetable varieties which are seen in the winter season. Now the fruit varieties. Can you name any fruit? No? Okay, we see. The apple, I said before, it is grown more in the Kashmir region. Why? With Kashmir apples. Why? Because the temperatures are very low at that places. Okay, the apples, bananas, pomegranates, and all varieties of berries. Berries. Okay, the apples, bananas, pomegranates, and berries. So these are the different varieties of rabi crops that we generally see. Not only this, these are only few examples. There are many other crops which comes under the rabi crops. So what are the two types of crops, children? Kharif and rabi. And you also know the varieties of examples which are grown in those seasons. And now coming to the important point. To grow the crops, I said the climatic conditions, sunlight, soil are required in correct proportion. Okay, and with water. So, what a farmer has to do, or what climatic conditions or what important features the farmer has to maintain so that he can get a good crop from his field. We will see what are the different methods or what are the important points to be noted to get good product in the crop. Okay, children? See children, here we are discussing about the summer crops or the kharif crops. As we have seen the different examples, the rice, millets, maize, jowar, and the vegetables like onion, pumpkin, brinjal, ladyfinger, spinach, tomato, garlic, and also the fruits like mangoes, melons, lychees, plum, apricot, and peaches are the perfect examples that we can find as the kharif crops. Okay children? So these are mainly grown in the they are mainly grown as the summer crops. Make sure that you identify them. Now the winter crops. The winter crops are called as rabi crops. They are wheat, barley, gram, mustard. They grow very well in the winter season. And not only those, we also have the vegetables which are grown in the winter season. So they are the cauliflower, carrot, radish, turnip, peas, and beans. And along with these vegetables, we also have the fruits like apple, banana, pomegranate, and berries. So all these are the winter crops. So as I said, the winter crops and the summer crops or the kharif and the rabi crops are grown in India especially as two crops. So the first crop is the kharif and the second crop is the rabi. Okay children?